Hey there, Commanders Nation. Today we've got 3 mind-blowing news stories that'll tug at your heartstrings. So stick with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this story that's heating up behind the scenes. And trust me, you won't want to miss a single detail. Today, you'll get exclusive reports and insider information. Now, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell because we bring you all the Commanders world news firsthand. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash that like button. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to the point. What's going on with Brandon Aiyuk? Do we still have a chance to get this talent on our team, or is the dream over for good? I'm going to reveal what's really happening. For those who don't know, Brandon Aiyuk, the star wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, is at a crossroads with his current team. Aiyuk is seeking a new contract, either to stay in San Francisco or to move on to new challenges. And of course, the NFL market is watching closely, especially since he's already turned down trade offers and extensions from New England and Cleveland. The burning question is, why haven't the Commanders jumped into the fray? Well, my friends, anyone who follows the NFL world knows that when Adam Schefter, one of the most respected journalists in the field, speaks, you'd better pay attention. Remember when he warned about the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson earlier this year? Everyone swore Johnson would be the next Commanders coach, but Schefter suggested caution, and he was right. Johnson didn't even end up as a finalist for the job. In other words, the man knows what he's talking about. Now, Schefter is back in the spotlight with another bombshell revelation. The Commanders are not interested in Brandon Aiyuk, he recently said on the Pat McAfee show. This caught a lot of people off guard, including me. After all, with our first-round wide receiver, Jahan Dotson, leaving last week, it seemed like we were clearing the way for a big move, possibly bringing in Aiyuk. Is this another masterstroke from our directors, or are we making a mistake? And get this, friends, Aiyuk isn't just an excellent wide receiver. He has a special connection with our quarterback, Jayden Daniels. For those who don't know, the two are close. And during the summer, Aiyuk even mentioned that he could see himself playing in Washington or Pittsburgh if he didn't re-sign with San Francisco. Can you imagine having that duo on the field for our team? It would be simply sensational. But hold on. Before you get frustrated or start complaining, it's important to understand the context. Schefter made it clear that the Commanders are not involved in negotiations for Aiyuk at this time. This means there are no active talks, but as we all know, in the world of NFL business, everything can change in an instant. And that's exactly why you should stay tuned to this channel, because any breaking news, I'll bring it to you first. Now, thinking strategically, is the Commanders' management right in not investing heavily in Aiyuk? Sure, he's a great talent, but our team has other priorities at the moment. Strengthening the offensive line, for example, would be crucial to give Jayden Daniels more protection and open up space for the ground game. Maybe our managers are thinking long-term and not just about a big name to attract fans. What do you think? Comment down below. And of course, we can't forget that the market is still moving. Other names are available, and who knows, we might have a surprise coming. The season is long, and there's still a lot that can happen. Maybe another high-caliber wide receiver is on the Commanders' radar, and we don't even know it yet. So, let's stay calm, fans. Our second news of the day will make your heart beat faster. If you're passionate about this team, you'll want to hear every detail of what I'm about to tell you. Have you ever imagined seeing our team finally making a comeback? Well, my friends, it seems that this dream is closer than ever to becoming a reality. And if I were you, I wouldn't leave this video, because I'm going to show you all the behind the scenes of a change that could transform our team's future. Let's start from the beginning. Every year, The Athletic conducts a comprehensive survey with NFL agents and influencers. They ask about everything, from team performance to future expectations. And let's be honest, Washington hasn't been doing very well in recent years, right? We know that. Historically, the team was seen as one of the least reliable in the league, and for good reason, right? With the disastrous management of former directors like Bruce Allen, who wasn't very respected, the team had been suffering quite a bit. But folks, get ready because things seem to be changing. This year's survey brought a light at the end of the tunnel that we've been waiting for so long. Among the 30 agents interviewed, 8 of them, that's 27%, chose Washington as the franchise with the best offseason. You better believe it, people. This is very significant for those of us who follow the team and know how much it needed a deep overhaul. Let's take a look at some opinions that justified this choice. One of the agents said that Washington needed seismic changes in management and coaching staff, and it's good that they finally did this. They were strategic in signing players in free agency and even managed to recruit a promising quarterback, Jayden Daniels, in the second round. We know that immediate success may not come, but there's that saying, right? To build something great, we need to start with the right foundations, and it seems that's exactly what's happening now. Another comment that caught a lot of attention was about hiring Dan Quinn as head coach. This choice, folks, was seen as a fundamental step for the much-needed cultural change within the franchise. Those who follow know how much the internal environment can affect performance on the field, right? And with Dan Quinn, it seems we'll finally have strong leadership focused on building a new chapter for our team. Moreover, we have to talk about the partnership between Dan Quinn and GM Adam Peters. Guys, what a duo this is. They have a huge job ahead of them, but we know that football goes beyond what happens on the field. Peters is a respected name in the NFL, so much so that he tied with Brian Gutekunst as the third best talent evaluator in the league. This is huge for us fans because it shows that the team is thinking long-term. You can't build a winning team without a solid foundation, and Peters has already started to reshape the scouting department. This is something Washington hasn't seen in almost 20 years. Besides being considered one of the best talent evaluators, Adam Peters was also pointed out as one of the most trustworthy GMs in the league. Do you have any idea what this means? This is a paradigm shift for our franchise. We're talking about a guy who, along with Dan Quinn, can really bring a new winning mentality to the Washington Commanders, and that's all we want, isn't it? But the good news doesn't stop there. Another positive point that the survey brought was about our senior vice president of football operations, Brandon Aiyuk. He was considered the second most likely to become a future GM in the NFL, only behind Ian Cunningham of the Bears. And I'll tell you folks, it's a big deal for Washington to have someone like Aiyuk on the team. He's young, but he's already stood out in two high-level organizations, and he's only 31 years old. He's the kind of guy who can bring a modern and innovative vision to our franchise. Now we're going to dive headfirst into Coach Dan Quinn's press conference. He made it clear which direction our team will take this season. We'll talk about the impactful decisions made in reducing the roster to the final 53 players. And before we continue, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything happening in the world of our beloved Commanders. Let's go! The first thing that caught attention was the decision to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster. That's right, folks. Jayden Daniels was already guaranteed as the starter and Marcus Mariota as the backup. But what really surprised us was keeping Jeff Driscoll. Why? Well, Driscoll had a solid preseason. Even with the interception against the Patriots, he showed confidence in the offense, completing 63% of his passes for 242 yards. The coaching staff thought it better not to take risks and ensure a strong quarterback room with options. Another choice that got people talking was in the edge rusher department. Many were left jaw-dropped by the decisions. The Commanders kept 7 players in this position, a mix of defensive ends and edge rushers, but chose to cut the 2023 draft picks, KJ Henry and Andre Jones Jr. And why is that? The answer lies in the tactical scheme that Washington's new team wants to implement. Players like Henry did have good moments in camp, but didn't fit into the new plan. Jamin Davis, who was repositioned, showed great potential for adapting to the new scheme and earned his spot. You can see that the team is constantly evolving and adapting, right? So, what's your opinion on these changes? Leave it in the comments. Now, let's talk about 2 losses that were felt deeply by the roster and the fans. Martavis Bryant and Bryson Tremaine. Both were unique pieces in the receivers room, with a different profile from the rest of the group, which is more focused on smaller, faster players. Bryant, who even scored a touchdown in the preseason, managed to impress, but entered the camp too late to make a solid difference. On the other hand, Tremaine stood out in practice but couldn't repeat his performance in preseason games. Coach Quinn even praised both of their efforts, but made it clear that there's still a way to go. Will we see these guys coming back to the practice squad? Only time will tell. And we can't forget the unexpected heroes of this journey. There are always those players who come in as underdogs and surprise everyone, right? This time it was Tyler Owens, a defensive back from Texas Tech, and Colson Yankoff, a tight end from UCLA. These guys did an incredible job on special teams, showing speed, physicality, and a great willingness to play in the Commanders' style. Owens, with his aggressiveness, and Yankoff, with his enthusiasm and effort, secured a spot on the roster. Quinn highlighted the importance of having players with this energy on the team, something that, according to him, is essential to define the team's identity. So, do you think these guys will manage to establish themselves in the starting lineup? Now, To wrap things up with a bang, let's talk about what's coming next. The next few hours will be decisive for the Commanders, who have the number 2 position on the waiver wire. This means we have the chance to strengthen the roster with players available in the market. Wide receiver, cornerback, and offensive line are positions that can still be adjusted. Quinn was very clear. The initial roster is just the beginning of the journey. The group can still change a lot until week 1, and each player needs to be ready to compete and show their worth. So, who do you think might still arrive to strengthen our team? And before we finish, I want to know from you. With all these changes and decisions, do you believe the Washington Commanders are on the right path to have a victorious season? Or do we still need more adjustments and reinforcements? Leave your opinion in the comments and let's debate. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoyed the content. See you next time.